working in the Ministry of Labor. What do they do in that place? How do you add value to it? You must be thinking out of the box at all times. Now, there are two things in the ministries, and that is also a very critical thing. Of course, people like Kayode and a few other persons who have been ministers before, who have been governors, may know. But the people outside that sphere, who are new in the system of government, may not know. There is the office of the minister, which is political, which is looking at things from a global point of view. And there is a civil service that is narrow, enclosed, and protective of his sphere of influence. Those two things are always in serious contention. So the first thing you must be able to see how you can navigate to ensure that whatever mandate your president has given to you, you deliver it. Other than that, but because if you are not able to work with civil service, you are dead on arrival.
So how do you begin to navigate the civil service? Because just like you said, very protective set of people, a lot of bureaucracy goes on there. You come in and say, can we do these things this way? They'll say, ah, Oga or Madam, that's what we don't do them since. That's actually what you're saying, isn't it?
Look, I practiced law for 25 years before I was appointed. I was already an SN for 6 years before I was appointed. And I was used to giving instructions. I need that file, get that brief ready. Okay, I can call my staff at my lawyer at 11 the night, even 1 a.m. I hope that paper is ready. You know, we are going to court in the morning. Be in my house by 7. You can't do that in the ministry. You can't even tell your driver that. Say, sir, we'll resume work at 9. Or you have to go out of it to be very, very nice. Very, very nice. For instance, I can tell you a little story. When I was in culture, Ministry of Culture, and I established very strong relationship with the cultural counselors in the ministries. I mean, in the embassies, because you know we have this cultural agreement with all the countries. That's the easiest diplomatic contact you have, cultural relationship. So I lined up them to the ambassadors to visit me so we can renew our cultural relationship and our agreements. Many of them were already stale, moribund, or even lapsed, and so on and so forth. And that opened the opportunities for some of my people in the ministries to attend cultural shows, cultural education and stuff. I have access to a lot of things internationally. And if by 6 p.m. I'm still in the office, I call for the director in charge of that department, is not there. I call for his deputy, he's not there. I call for the assistant director. He happens to be there. He goes for that trip. He goes for that workshop. I know what it is. These are the packs that civil servants can go to war over.
So when the Ogas come, they'll be like, so why should the assistant director go?
When you are the boss,
but they weren't in the office.
You are not on seat. Because of that, after a short period, nobody leaves until I've left. I begin to work. We were able to achieve actually a few things. Of course, I spent just about a year there, so we couldn't follow up, and there was some, revisionist policies that came in, or lack of policy. So you just need to be able to relate with people, have some ideas. You need to be able to push some ideas. Other than that, you will be doing the same thing the same way.
Okay, looking at the current crop of ministerial nominees that we have right now, do you have confidence in those set of people? Let's forget the hula baloo around what is being touted. Oh, they are older. Oh, not young people. Oh, the women. But looking at it objectively right now, do you have confidence? And I want you to look at it very objectively, you know, without, you know.
Look, we're all in the business of making Nigeria work. If the country works, if the government succeeds, all of us enjoy. We are all, so that's why when you even criticize, you have to be very careful to make contribution, constructive contribution, so that whatever you think is a challenge the government is facing, make suggestions as to how they could get out of it. But looking at the team, I mean, I'm absolutely certain that Fashola can work anywhere you put him. He has experience, aside from the fact that he's an old lawyer, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, he has been governor before even he became governor. He did 8 years. I mean, dealing in the civil service in Lagos, like dealing in civil service at federal level is huge. They're doing big things, so I think he can do well. So a few other people can do well who have some experience. You see, the issue is
Are there people that stand out for you on that list? You just said the Fashola.
I mentioned it because, well, is my friend. I'm familiar with him.
Colleague.
Yeah, that have a few other people. There are a few other people there. You see, it's not. First of all, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, and I don't think that. Even though I don't think that the president should have expected that he will not catch some flack. Every president catches flack with the list he presents to the public. But don't also close your ears, because among all that criticism, you will see some sense. So take it. Okay? So it's very important. Whichever ministers that he thinks that there's a lot of, we may need to rejig his thinking, then he could know how to adjust it. For me, I think that the plan is more important than the people.
Okay.
You know, because it's first in time. Without a solid plan, honestly, you can bring in.
Why are you worried about the plan? Just like other Nigerians are worried that there is really no plan in place right now, apart from the APC manifesto, which we have. Do you understand? So that is actually disturbing you also, that we don't have a plan, especially an economic plan, right? Economic strategy. For me, I'm really also disturbed.
This is a presidential system of governance. It's different from parliamentary, where the party manifesto becomes the policy of state. The president.
But the president should also make policies and programs that will be in tandem with his APC manifesto to achieve it, so that they can also get re-elected in 2019.
Absolutely, will be taken on board. You know, the average man on the street does not care, really, honestly, about PDP manifesto or APC manifesto.
What he cares is how much is entering his pocket.
He just wants to know that the government
There's food on my table.
The government cares for his welfare and is doing things for his welfare. And I'm sure there's no manifesto of any party that does not put as number one the welfare of the people. So, but putting a plan. You see, as I said, we need to improve on the way we do things. Okay? PDP came and did what they could do, and they've gone. APC is there now. Improve on it. Because if you do it the same way PDP did it, you may get the same result. And that's the point. It's so simple from my own point of view. And honestly, the president can do it. All you need to do is just take a little step back, which he should have done maybe in the past 4 months, honestly. And I don't know, I hope he has not lost that chance. But it's not possible. Even within a month, you can have a semblance of something on the ground, a template, which you can get people to help you to work on. You have people there. The vice president can do a lot of work for him in that area. First of all, the vice president is constitutionally the chairman of National Economic Council. Constitutionally is the chairman of National Planning Commission. These are the two engines of development, of plans, developments, and growth. Unfortunately, and that's the irony of it, in the past, we've more or less downgraded these commissions, and even the Minister of Planning, the Minister of National Planning is not taken as a
But that's a very strategic
It is the
ministry.
one of the most strategic.
National
In
planning,
fact, they do everything.
Yeah, the engine room that will drive the other things that every
They
other
do
person
monitoring and evaluation, which is the work of the president. Put in the plan, put in the ministers. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why do you think ministers don't resign in Nigeria? Honestly.
Why do I think ministers
people don't resign? Ministers or even people in positions don't resign. Government. Whatever happens, they will remain there until they are sacked or until they are tired. Why don't they resign? Because there's no target given to them. There's no means of evaluating their performance.
How should there be a means? Because the past administration did a performance. I think President Jonathan said that his ministers will be evaluated, and we didn't hear anything out of it. It was not.
Exactly.
So is it just with mouth? Is it just with how?
Exactly.
What tangible should we?
The structure need to be put in place. The president will put it in place because he's the final authority. President Jonathan wanted to do it, but the system did not allow him to do it.
He actually came forth to say he was going to do it, but we didn't see anything out of it.
Exactly, because the whole idea was hijacked and became whatever it became. But he had an intention of doing to monitor. Because let me tell you, just before, in 2011, just before I left cabinet, the ministers had several sessions with him about how we can make the new government work. That, for instance, we talked about the issue of scrapping the idea of awarding contracts to Federal Executive Council. We talked about the issue of changing the timing I mean, the frequency of the Federal Executive Council meetings.
Every week, Wednesday.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But, and he took it on. We talked about monitoring and evaluation. They need to strengthen the National Planning Office, even within the office of the President, whereby you can be able to have access to whether this minister, this is what your minister is supposed to be doing at this time. Milestones, timelines, and the funding. The business of funding is the President's own. Let him get the money, but we'll give you milestones and give you timelines. Then there'll be a template for assessment. So every quarter, the template is distributed. Every minister assesses himself. No, peer review. That's what I mean. So you assess, and you say anybody who scores below 35% is not fit to be this. Anybody who scores below 40% is this. You understand? So by the time you are assessed by your peer as you are 30%, you will pack your load in shame and leave the cabinet. You will sack yourself. So these are because these are things we have seen. Do you understand? These are things we have seen. And the project, Nigeria, is too big, it's too important. Look, we are already getting out of the way. Our children are right on our heels. And we need to help them to see those templates and understand that anytime you take an appointment, if you can't cope with it, get out before you are disgraced. Some of the people on this cabinet may not be able to cope with the rigors of ministerial assignments if they are given milestones and timelines. But if there's none, there will just be business as usual. Simple.
How should that be given, since the former administration tried to put that in place and it was frustrated? So how can is it something that should be institutionalized?
Learn. And secondly, we have a new party in power. A new president on the block. Right now, he's enjoying a lot of goodwill, so he can say, look, this is, yes, a lot of goodwill, a lot of capital. This is what I want. And that template should be there, because you need to, immediately the ministers are sworn in, put in the cabinet, as you are shaking his hand, he's giving you your mandate.
Your target.
This is the target. This is the minimum. I want something higher than this. If you score the minimum, you are going to get 40%.
Just like in the banking industry, for those that are bankers, you know, you say, get 1 billion in 1 month. How you go about it, they don't know about the end.
But I never agree with that.
No. So I'm just saying, I just brought that on a lighter note.
The principle is that, and as I said, we want the country to succeed. Some people tried their own up to a point. We need to do better than that, so that another person that comes in later, after, will also do better than that. That is how countries improve.
How are you worried? I know you said that you've not seen any economic plan or no plan in place right now. Are you worried about the state of the economy? Because I know you're a businessman too. Law itself is a business, you know. Some of you lawyers are very rich, you know. So law is a business.
I've been practicing law for 33 years.
But you understand what I mean,
Absolutely.
that it's a business. So are you actually disturbed and worried about the state right now of things in the economy?
Yes, I am worried, but we'll take it in context. There is general recession all over the world. The economy of the globe is in serious problem. Look at what is happening in China. They took a hit. Maybe right now, the RMB to dollar has gone down about 25 to 30%, something like that. The economy, the Chinese economy is slowing down more than 6% this year. Africa's main financier, the main FDI coming from anywhere today, serious one, is coming from China. They are, in the past 2005, the past 5 years, the trade between Africa and China has grown more than 20 billion to about $200 billion. That the places where our people go to buy things, to do things, to buy equipment, to buy agricultural machines and stuff. So they are going down. Look at Europe. The economy of Europe, many countries are there hanging. We are better than them. I mean, Spain, even Italy,
Spain is just
Greece,
trying to recover.
Greece, they are almost bankrupt. So there's serious challenge all over the world. So we are not isolated. We are part of the global world economy. So we are affected. The key thing is that how do we now react and do our own homegrown reaction to the challenge? I don't want to talk about oil. Everybody knows about that. We've taken a serious hit. We are in negative territory now in terms of what we expected from oil the past 1.5 years. And that is a serious challenge for us. We've opened our mouths wide, we plan big things to be funded by all money, it's not coming in. So now, I'm sure the president never expected this. And even if it was President Goodluck Jonathan that is in power, he will feel the same pinch. So we still must plan. You know, it's so important. And it's also no magic. What do people do? People want, first of all, we need to create jobs. The president wants to create jobs. Everybody wants to create jobs. How do we do it? It's by production. What is the easiest thing for us to produce? We take agriculture. Just go into agri fully, totally. And agro-processing.
But not neglecting other sectors, though. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Know,
yeah.
Then, so that, you see, by the time you produce, do some, of course, you have to work on your infrastructure, you understand. But I'm talking about getting people back to work, getting things moving in the country, and so on and so forth. Okay? And you can target, you can spend a lot of energy actually on one sector if it's a quick win for you. Okay? So, and that is the whole idea that we're talking about. We'll get food into people's stomach first. Then a lot of agro products are important to this country for some level of manufacturing and other things. We also take care of that. We reduce our demand of foreign exchange. You can see what CBN is trying to do. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the governor of Central Bank today is doing a yeoman's job. He's wearing two hats. He's handling the financial policies. He's also more or less handling the fiscal policies. You understand? Which is not really supposed to be his business. But he had to do it. He's doing a lot of work and trying to, like, controlling how certain things will happen, putting certain things on hold. You understand?